Carry on, my wayward son. Don't you cry no more. So, 11 hours of work. That was 11 hours of work. And, 11 hours of work at $10 an hour under the table equals $110. What does that mean? Doesn't mean anything. It means nothing at all. But I am learning a craft, and I'm learning a trade, and that $10 an hour at some point will be 15 to 20 to 25 to 30. And then, of course, adding in participating in a company that he's trying to build, that he is building in some way, shape, or form, and or doing my own thing at some point, and building it out to multi-million dollars, or not billions. I don't want to bother with that much money, but I wouldn't have any problem doing a multi-million dollar deal. But I don't know if our current financial setup is going to last until then. I'm not really sure. But it is good to be bringing in money again, because I was having a period where I wasn't. So that's good. It's good to be doing physical labor again. Haven't done that since I was a child. And I already built the work ethic from, being semi-homeless and doing Lyft and Uber in San Francisco and working 10 to 13 to 15 hour days and sleeping in the car. And of course that's not work. That's not physically strenuous work, but it's mentally strenuous work, which to me is actually more taxing on the body-mind than strictly physical work. Strictly physical work actually kind of recharges you. As you can see, I'm not tired. I'm not tired right now, even though I just worked for 11 hours. That's also whether you keep your emotional body protected and unblemished and level. Depends on whether, when you're done doing whatever you do during the day, whether you're exhausted or you have energy still. It's a skill. It's actually a skill to learn, where you can do what I just did and not be tired. This is not always the case. Sometimes I am tired / have been tired after doing something like this, but I've been working out some kinks in my vices that I partake in and of, and I've been, I don't need to beat around the bush. I have not drank alcohol since June 24th, so that's like 2.5 months, which in and of itself gives you energy back and money. And I also have not been smoking cigarettes, which I started doing when Andrea came around. Not a whole ton. I wasn't smoking like packs a day. I was buying a pack of sort of gourmet cigarettes called Jarums, and she would do the same thing, and we would smoke them, 1 or 2 cigarettes a day, something like that. I have been doing nicotine though since my early 20s, and I seemed to develop a bit of a affinity for what the substance does to the brain noggin. So the last week or so, I just stopped intaking. It wasn't with a plan. It wasn't with an ultimatum or anything like that. I just didn't do it. And then I kept not doing it. That's all it has been. And I'm not going to turn it into a plan or a keeping track of or an ultimatum. It will do what it does. With alcohol, it's different. I'm actually just not drinking, even though that's not any sort of not drinking for a set period of time. I'm just simply not drinking. And I know the reasons why, and I have seen why I'm doing this. So that's me right now. We have leveled out a bit as far as financial stuff, although we do have, of course, some hassle here and there, some bothers, some small harassments, energetic harassments, but it's nothing bad. It's nothing too crazy to handle. Energetically, though, the last week has been pretty nuts. It's been pretty nutty for both of us, and for everyone else who we kind of see out and about in the social realms, on the Fed book, and we just feel it. I feel it. When something's going on, I feel it. And I know I probably over amplify or over exaggerate what's actually happening outside of myself in the external, but you know, when it's bad, it's bad. When the energy is crazy and rough, then it's not joking around. It's actually very much so. And as spiritual beings, the things that we go through, the rough waters that we go through, don't always correlate with what we see outside the body, like outside there. It doesn't always correlate. In fact, lots of times it doesn't correlate, because the out there, again, is oddly enough, in the upside down realm, what you see and hear and smell and touch is the fake part of the existence. And it's very difficult to understand that. But there is a real, I shouldn't even do quotations, there is a real existence that is not just void. I don't know how to explain it, but it's outside of this realm. It's also inside of this realm. It's inside of this realm as a frequency, as a thought, mind. Your tuning fork. For instance, if you sit and listen to me talk for a while, since I'm dialed into a certain frequency, you're going to dial into that frequency by virtue of listening to me speaking. And whatever realm I occupy on a moment-to-moment basis, you gain access to that sort of frequency just by listening to me. But it's not physical, time-space bound frequency. It's simply a frequency that is non-local. And we share frequencies, we share sort of portal traveling abilities, and it's not like a physical thing. It's a very subtle energy, movement, feeling space, sort of navigational ability that we as interdimensional beings have and retain and can share. Just by having a conversation. Even I'm having a one-way conversation. I'm simply speaking into this portal, which is a cell phone, and it's going out to all of you who are listening, watching at a different time and place than I'm putting it out, but it still correlates. It correlates to you and whatever you're doing out in the realm, out in the world, out in the universe, in some way, shape, or form, simply by virtue that the whole thing is one happening, without that sounding too spiritual woo-woo nonsense. We're all one, and we should all love each other and blow sunshine up each other's asses all day. I'm not talking about that, but the thing is, it's a wholeness. It's not a separatedness. It's a separatedness as long as you are in a very specifically fragmented, ego-mind, clutchy type self-experiencing body-mind. When you're in that, then everything looks separate, and you learn about science and chopping up atoms, and you learn how to name all the parts and pieces, and you learn concepts for how those parts and pieces move and interact with each other, and it's just mind. That perception is only mind, and there is much more beyond what we call only mind, which is all that the ego can see or perceive. There's much more beyond that, and it gets a lot more exquisite and beautiful. Actually, it becomes prettier. It becomes more. I don't know how else to explain it. It becomes more. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take off. I've been rambling, and I have been rambling. This has been very specific, but I'm gonna go. So thanks for watching. Take care. Peace!